Welcome back to Octember failure number 7, Octember 2024. This is part 2 of that. You can see the alternator light is on solid. I'm driving on battery power to XJ81X. I got the new belt, and I've never done this before, so just gonna kind of figure it out. Okay, I don't know if this is gonna be show you stuff, probably not. Maybe just a talk through as we go and do stuff, or maybe nothing at all, and I'll just show you it working at the end. I don't know yet, but we'll find out later. Okay, as described in part 1 of this series, the belt just blew up and it's gone, but you know where it goes. I mean, it goes there and all that. Okay, so the way this works is pretty simple. Over here is a bracket, okay, and down here, not this bolt, but right here, there it is, 15 millimeter, you loosen that. That allows the alternator to pivot up and down. Then down here, you have a bolt there. Probably can't see it, but on the side is a bolt there. They're both 12 millimeter. And the way it works, this is a long bolt that makes the alternator rise up and down to tighten the belt. The one on the side is like a set screw. So you loosen that so you can play with that bolt. So what I need to do is loosen the 15 so the alternator can pivot. Loosen that one so I can turn that bolt. And then I'm going to loosen that bolt, which should drop the alternator down and will then allow clearance for the belt to get on. Now, how are you going to do that on the V6 is a great question, because clearance. The good news is that you can make the job a lot easier for yourself by removing the wheel. So we're going to do that. And that way you can clearly see the crankshaft pulley there and get it on that without any problem. And then hopefully you can get your hands down in here enough to get around the AC compressor, and then ultimately the alternator. All right, we're going to get to work. All right, it's a little while later. That bolt was a royal pain. It was way too tight. So whoever was in here previously, or maybe it was never moved, I don't know, over-tightened it somewhere. That was the pain, but finally it did budge. These were no problem, and the alternator indeed did move. We have the car jacked up now. Wheel is off. You have to remove this panel right here. There are two 10 millimeter bolts which bolt there and there. All right, real easy to take that off. And look what we have: crankshaft pulley, AC compressor pulley. Now it's just a matter of getting down in there and fishing the belt around until it's around that and the alternator. As you can see, the belt is now on there. Now, this literally looked like a job that you could do on the side of the road. Not really the case. That's why we're in the driveway. You kind of can. The problem is the alternator is, the bolt here is loosened as far as it'll go, and the alternator is pushed down as far as it'll go, and it actually is hitting this AC pipe, not this one, but that one where it curves underneath. So it doesn't push down anymore. So we're able to get the belt on, but then it has that where there's no way it's going to clear the pulley. So we had to do the age-old method of sticking a screwdriver in there to get it on. And immediately somebody's going to say, oh, well, that's certainly not right. No, it's fine, because look at how much play is in that. I haven't tightened the belt yet, but it's just getting it over the lip on the pulley. It doesn't have the chooch to do that, to get on there. But we pried it on, it's now on, and now we can tighten it up, because obviously that's going to pop right off as soon as we crank her up. So now it's a matter of tightening that bolt until the belt has the right tension. Then you lock down the set screw, and you lock down that one right there. Okay, I haven't tightened up. I have not tightened the set screw or this bolt yet. And it's pretty tight, but I just want to make sure everything is tracking straight. I have a way to turn this engine over without it starting. So let's go ahead and do that for a couple of seconds here, and hopefully it won't pop off. Okay, looks good. Now I just want to show you how I did that. Here are the keys. You'll notice there's two. One has a black head and the other is just a metal key. This car has an engine immobilizer, and there is a transponder chip in the black key. If you don't use the black key and just use the metal key, it'll crank but not fire. So the belt is tracking straight. I have the bolts tightened down, so we're ready to fire it up. Okay, we are ready to go here, so start it up. So far, so good. Now let's engage the AC compressor and see if it squeals or not, so I know if I have the tension right. Very nice. Nice and smooth. Beautiful. Tracking perfect. Everything's good. Nicey nice. So now pretty much the rest is just buttoning it up. Just for the fan and AC twerps and car twerps out there, we'll let this cycle the compressor twice. There, it just kicked on and the fans are on. This is an 03 Toyota Camry with the V6, and in 07 they changed the design where it does not cycle the compressor. I don't like that, but that's what they did. You'll also notice that they put a idle up circuit in, so when the AC compressor engages, it speeds the RPM up. Because when it shuts it, you'll hear the engine slow down. See? I like it cycling myself, but hey, it is what it is. One more time. There's some other pieces of the old belt that broke, but that is it. All the bolts are tightened. You saw it run. It definitely has flex, but certainly did not squeak at all. It ran beautifully. Everything is perfect with that. And, you know, obviously we let it down, wheels back on, all that great stuff. It's all there and back together the very next day. Also, little funny story before we close out. This started, it was kind of an interesting thing. The whiff said the windshield washer fluid is low because it's got a light. So she said, yeah, it was coming on and off, and then it just came on solid like 2 days ago. So it needs juice, no problem. I didn't have any, I bought some. And I said, before you go to work yesterday, let's go fill it up, and then you can just drive off, you know. We did it a little earlier than that, but whatever. So we put the washer fluid in, everything's good. And of course, while I'm under here, the engine's cold, so let me check the oil, check the transmission fluid, power steering, all the da-da-da. And I said, oh, let me just pop the radiator cap here. You know, in all the years, I never popped that cap. And I was surprised when I did that, and it was bone dry. I said, oh, not good. Fortunately, this is not an Octember fail. This is what happens when old ladies get taken advantage of. This car was owned by an old lady, and probably at one point or another, a mechanic said, you need a radiator flush. The coolant is dirty. Okay, do it. She doesn't know any better. So he did the job, and that was that. But I had to buy the pink stuff because I don't have any of that kind, and I've never needed it for any of the other cars. So I said, well, I better get some just in case, you never know, you know. So I put a funnel in there, and I poured basically enough to fill this hose. That's all it was low. And that kind of jives with the fact that there was a flush done, because the mechanic doesn't go back and check to see that the level is good, and the old lady doesn't know how to open the hood. So there you go. It was always just a hose much low. And that's all it was. There's no leaks, drips, or anything. No smell of coolant. There actually is, because I spilled a little bit. I hate myself for that, but whatever. And I filled up the overflow jug here to the right level as well, because that was at the bottom. Makes sense. It sucked it back in, which I guess means the radiator cap is working. But yeah, Ginger's fixed. Wasn't too bad. The belt was $30-something. Way expensive, but whatever. I could have gotten it cheaper. This is a Continental belt. I don't know the names or care. Some people say these are shit. Other people say they're great. I don't know the difference, but it's there. It's on. It works. It runs. And thank frig, this Octember 2024 failure number 7 is now resolved. Big thanks to XJoe81X for letting me work on the car here at his house, because he's got, you know, a couple other tools and that, and we kind of mix and match my tools with his tools. Those are mine there. And we'll find something that'll get the job done. So big thanks to XJoe81X. Link in the description. Go subscribe. That's going to wrap this one up. Thanks so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Make sure you click like. Make sure you click subscribe. And take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.